Thank you, Michael. I am Perpetual Fasami Peter. At least 4 presidential aspirants on the platform of the People's Democratic Party say they will accept a consensus arrangement to position the party for victory in 2023. The aspirants made the disclosure while briefing journalists on the outcome of their visit to Governor YAKUBU'S of Abia in his Umuobiakwa country home in Obingwa local government area on Tuesday. Speaking on behalf of other aspirants, the former Senate President, Bukola Saraki, said the decision was informed by their determination to make Nigeria better. He said that the lives and welfare of Nigerians were more important than the individual ambition of every aspirant. And joining us via audio call is a political analyst, Bola Oba. He'll help us make sense of this. Hello, good day, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, good to have you on board. So we're talking about the People's Democratic Party now, and the latest reports from the leading opposition party show that the planned consensus may have suffered a setback. What do you make of this?
What do I make of the situation in the PDP now?
Exactly.
Oh, I believe like any other political party, at any point in time, there will be a major issue and an established convention of the party. And let's be very honest with ourselves, there are 2 main blocks. The bloc that believes that it should be kept open because they believe they have the whistle and the numbers. When I say whistle, I mean they have the dollars, the money, and the numbers, given the number of delegates that will be at the convention relative to how the federative unit of the country, is constituted, and those who believe that as a matter of convention from the conception and inception of the party, that they had agreed the principle that the leadership of the country should be zoned at different times relative to some elements believe that relative, because it was a party that has envisaged consistently that it would rule Nigeria for 60 years. But they've only come barely 16 years out of 60, and now some still want the government to be respected, notwithstanding the fact that they've not been in power for the last 7 years now. So that's a major problem in the party.
All right, now let's look at the issue of zoning. Now, PDP Southern governors want the presidential ticket zoned to their region, and we have some other people in that party saying that it should be thrown open. Now, which of these do you think will be in the best interest of the party? Throwing it open or giving it to the South?
Which of either zoning or not zoning
exactly will be in the best interest of the party? Exactly. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll get back on that conversation.
You, a business owner, looking for the right exposure to attract massive clients to your brand? The long search is definitely over. SME Hub allows you showcase your products and services to a wide range of viewers and buyers nationwide. For further inquiries, please call Alero on 081-323-43262, or you can send an email to alero.obudere@ibrandtv.com. Grow your brand and boost your business on SME Hub, live on iBrandTV, where business comes first.
Welcome back. We still have Bola Oba with us, and we're talking about PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, to zone or not to zone, a consensus candidate or not. Now let's look at the issue of zoning. Before now, we're talking about how that the PDP Southern governors want the presidential ticket zoned to their region, and then we also have some other persons in the party saying that it should be thrown open. Now, what do you think? Which of these will be in the best interest of the party?
To be very honest with you, I'm not a member of the party. I wouldn't know what is the best interest of the party. They really have to, they really have to poll not only their members, but they really have to poll at large, as it is done in most respectable liberal democracy. However, as an analyst, and I don't pretend to be a seer or I don't pretend to be omniscient, I just know that the longer the least issue to be settled, the more devastating it will likely be to them. They should make up their mind and get done with it any and all.
All right, now while we understand the concept of federal character and how important it is for a country like Nigeria, shouldn't leadership be more about interest and capacity to deliver? I mean, we look at
federal character is totally different from zoning. We are the second presenter that I'll be correcting on that major conflation of principles or ideas. Zoning is imputed in the PDP constitution. It is not in the APC constitution. And zoning speaks to the fact that for all parts of Nigeria, similarly, something akin to federal data, to feel a sense of inclusivity, the leadership of this country, the executive leadership of this country should be zoned between the North and the South. However, the North has 3 geopolitical zones, the South has 3 geopolitical zones. Federal character is however more micro and nano in the granularity of how it extends opportunities not only to the 6 geopolitical zones, but to the 36 states. So zoning is different from federal character.
Absolutely, that of course is noted. However, we're just trying to draw a comparison.
To be honest with you, at the level of development that Nigeria is now, and given the pronounced dystopia of how the federation is constituted, especially when you look at the number of states in the North and the number of states in the South, and the presumed population of parts of Nigeria. If you don't zone this country that is already on the deep down, the drainage of dissolution may easily become populated. Let's be very honest with ourselves. The North really has to look, northern elite, especially northern politicians, they really have to be very careful on or before 2023. If they want to be arrogant, they have, as a result of their misgovernance, proceed. And unfortunately, as a result of the fact that they have nurtured generations of the standing army against the polity because of tens of millions of youngsters that they have neglected for generations, they now have a situation where the president can no longer retire to Daura, not even Kaduna, where he used to live. The president of the Senate cannot flip over in the ancestral village where he was born, taking align in a relationship with people who can only function in Abuja, and yet they will use the enormity of the size of that region, not productive, not well governed. We are not even sure of the population. You know, they will use it to terrorize people who still have a semblance, even when they are over in the state of the generation, who still have a semblance of anxiety. They better be sober enough to realize that this time around, if they yield on zoning, they are yielding for the preservation of Nigeria, even far and above any of the 2 major parties.
All right, now let's get back to where we started from, talking about the choice of a consensus candidate for the party. Well, what do you think? Do you think that zoning will actually help them in making up their mind about a consensus candidate?
I wouldn't know if there's consensus mechanism in in the constitution of the PDP, but I know there is no consensus mechanism for the nomination of the presidential candidate in the APC. Because consensus mechanism is imputed in the Electoral Act, does not translate that the two main parties have the consensus mechanism also imputed in the presidential selection or presidential nomination conventions of the party. You have it in the general convention, but is it in the presidential nomination convention of the party? Because there is going to be a special dedicated convention for the election of the presidential candidates of the two parties. I know the ACCUSES constitution does not have consensus, notwithstanding the fact that in recent times, the ACCUSES seems to have made a melodrama of the consensus principle relative to how the National Working Committee was constituted, but they dare not use it except they want to allow for the invalidation of the presidential candidate, even when the president may have won the presidency, except they want to go to the parliament. But in the case of the PDP, do they have the consensus mechanism for the election or selection of the presidential candidate? Until that is answered, anything we say now is hypothetical and just theoretical.
Oh, well, we have in the report where Bukola Saraki visited Governor Ikpeazu, and then he was talking about the fact that he's open to a consensus candidate. And even some of the members of this particular party have also said that they are open.
My sister, once you have mentioned the name of Bukola Saraki, let me give you the strategy that I believe Saraki is using. Saraki is keeping himself visible with a view to leveraging that visibility to win back Kwara State. And as we speak, it's working well for him, because I was in Illinois a couple of weeks ago. The PDP, let's be very honest with ourselves, Saraki could be in any party. Saraki, what as visible as he's doing. So Saraki being part of any idea, or Saraki being part of any group of people canvassing one idea, I'm not totally impressed. I just know it as a mechanism to bring back what he lost during the electoral revolution that happened in Kwara.
Okay, thank you. I think this is a good place to anchor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, we've been speaking with Bola Oba. We'll take a commercial break now, and when we return, we'll bring you more stories. Stay with us.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming True unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your True unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix True unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. True unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, gbegiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your True unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors are needed nationwide.
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in commissioners for the National Population Commission and Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. The swearing-in took place shortly before the commencement of the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House in Abuja on Wednesday. The commissioners who were confirmed by Senate last month are Chief Benedict Ukpong Effiong, Akwa Ibom, Mrs. Gloria Fetea Izonfo, Bayelsa, Kupchi Patricia Ori Inyanya, Benue, Dr. Hali Rubala, Kebbi, and Dr. Eyitayo Oyekunle Oyetunji Oyo for the National Population Commission, NPC. Those for the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission are Assistant Inspector General of Police Olubenga Adeyanju, retired, Ekiti State, Senator Anthony Agbo from Ebonyi State, and Otela Fuode from Cross River State, Alhaji Goni Ali Gujba from Yobe State, and Dr. Luis Solomon Mandama of Adamawa State. Physically present at the meeting are Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, National Security Advisor Babagana Monguno, retired, among others. A court of appeal in Abuja has on Wednesday lifted the movement restriction on human rights activist and convener of Revolution Now, Omoyele Sowore. Sowore was in 2019 restricted to Abuja by Federal High Court following charges of treasonable felony, cyber-stalking the President, Muhammadu Buhari, among other offenses. The appeal court ruled that Sowore could now leave Abuja but not travel out of Nigeria. The Supreme Court of Nigeria on Wednesday in Abuja upheld the 2018 decision of the Court of Appeal, which sentenced the former Federal Director of Pensions, John Yakubu, to 6 years imprisonment, and also ordered him to refund the sum of 22.9 billion naira to the federal government. The 22.9 billion naira was part of the police pension fund he admitted before High Court of the Federal Capital Territory FCT to have been misappropriated. Justice Tijani Abubakar, in a judgment in an appeal filed by Yusuf, upheld the decision of the Court of Appeal, which in 2018 sent him to 6 years imprisonment in addition to the refund of the sum. The Apex Court held that Yusuf and others engaging in fraudulent practices must be told through court judgment that it is no longer business as usual. Justice Abubakar said that the appeal of the former Federal Pension Director seeking to set aside the 6 years jail term against him was frivolous and devoid of merit. He further held that victims of the convicted director deserve restitution, which can only be achieved through justice. Yusuf had dragged the federal government before the Apex Court seeking to overturn the 6 years imprisonment slammed on him by the Court of Appeal. The former pensions director, who is serving the 6 years jail term at the Kuje Correctional Facility, also asked the Supreme Court to set aside a whopping sum of 22.9 billion naira he was ordered to refund to the government treasury by the Court of Appeal in a 2018 judgment. The federal government will in May introduce a system online for the tracking and monitoring of passport applications. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, said this at the opening of a 2-day workshop for passport control officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service in Abuja on Tuesday. Aregbesola revealed that the federal government had concluded plans to launch a system that would lead to minimal interaction between passport applicants and immigration officers. The minister said apart from the national identity number verification and linking, there should be no other major reason for the delay in pursuing or issuing passports. The minister added, quote, "We have adopted a maximum processing period of 6 weeks. Aregbesola warned immigration officers against sharp practices, even as he advised them to treat passport applicants as customers. As the political sphere heats up in preparation for the forthcoming general election, foremost lawyer and social rights activist NIYI AKINTOLA has called on the leadership of the All Progressives Congress to, as a matter of urgency, intervene in the crisis currently rocking the party at the state level. The senior advocate, during a chat with newsmen in Ibadan, lamented and called for reconciliation.
I only hope what's going on in Oyo State that the national body will act quickly. But if the national body fails to act quickly, the resultant effect will be your guess. Because it's so obvious that practically every other tendencies in Oyo State is against the Muslim tendency, without exception. Of course, we give the different reasons and different philosophies and backgrounds. But I do know that none of the other 5 tendencies have anything to do with it. So you'll be wondering why this is so. And ordinarily, this press conference would have been had by 3 of us, myself, Dr. Adinuto, that's Friday, and Tegby. But somewhere along the line, something, this communication gap. And my people decided that I should do my own.
The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has threatened to embark on a 3-day nationwide strike in solidarity with the 4 university-based industrial unions. The threat came after the NLC met with the 4 university unions in Abuja yesterday over the failure of the federal government to address the concerns raised by the unions. The leadership of the NLC had said the meeting was meant to appraise the level of engagement between the unions and the federal government. NLC General Secretary Emma Ugbaja told newsmen that it was aimed at finding ways of resolving the face-off between the aggrieved unions and government in the interest of Nigerians. Ugbaja said NLC considered it wise to hear from the unions first before taking any position, adding that the interest of labor was to ensure that the matter was sorted out. And now we take stories from the African scene. South Sudan President Salva Kiir ordered military officers loyal to his Vice President Riek Machar to be officially integrated into a unified command of the army, state media said on Tuesday, a central pillar of the peace process. Kiir and Machar forces signed a peace agreement in 2018 that ended 5 years of civil war. Implementation has been slow and the opposing forces have clashed frequently over disagreements about how to share power. Fighting has flared in recent weeks following pressure from donors and international partners. The 2 men met on April 8 and Machar submitted a list of officers to be absorbed into the security services. Machar's Sudan People's Liberation Movement Army, in opposition, had suspended its participation in the peace deal's oversight mechanisms last month by citing attacks by government forces. Machar's military spokesman Paul Gabriel said the move would help stop the ongoing ceasefire violations in different parts of the country. South Sudan's civil war from 2013 to 2018, often fought along ethnic lines, claimed an estimated 400,000 lives, triggered a famine, and created Africa's biggest refugee crisis since the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. At least 45 people were killed after Monday's intensely heavy rainfall in South Africa's eastern coastal province of KwaZulu-Natal. Flooded settlements, ravaged homes, swept away roads, and displaced dozens, officials said on Tuesday. The provincial government, which confirmed the number of dead, said in a statement that the death toll could rise further and warned heavy rain would continue until evening in the coastal parts of the province. Dozens of homes were washed away and several roads had caved in, hampering transportation and rescue operations. The rains in KwaZulu-Natal also flooded a dam beyond capacity, making it impossible to operate a hydroelectric generator at Power Utility Eskom, Chief Executive Officer Andre de Ruyter said in an online briefing. Floods around the coastal city of East London in January had killed at least 10 people and left hundreds homeless. Scientists suspect climate change has caused worsening floods and droughts along the eastern coastline. The South African Weather Service declined to attribute the current spate of rainfall to climate change, but said such heavy rain events could become more common. In 2019, the Department of Environment drew up a plan for South Africa to adapt to climate change, which includes strengthening its preparedness to respond more quickly to weather disasters and help victims recover. And now from the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Wednesday that Russia was using phosphorus bombs in Ukraine, and he accused Moscow of deploying terror tactics against civilians. Addressing the Estonian parliament, Zelensky said, and I quote, "The Russian army is using all types of artillery, all types of missile, air bombs, in particular phosphorus bombs against residential districts and civilian infrastructure. This is clear terror against the civilian population," end of quote. Ukraine has said it is checking on verified information that Russia may have used chemical weapons while besieging the southern Ukrainian port city of Mariupol. But Russia-backed separatists trying to seize complete control of the city have denied using chemical weapons, and Moscow has in the past labeled U.S. talk of Russian forces using chemical weapons a tactic to divert attention from awkward questions for Washington. Zelenskyy also said Russia had been forcibly deporting Ukrainians, again without producing evidence, and called for economic sanctions on Russia to continue, saying they were the only way to force Russia to agree peace terms. Russia has denied targeting civilians since it invaded Ukraine on February 24 and has said Ukrainian and Western allegations of war crimes are fabricated. And that's all on this segment. Many thanks for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter, and it's back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Perpetua. Up next is sport business.
FIFA is launching an ad-supported streaming service, FIFA Plus, which will broadcast 40,000 games this year. While top-flight European leagues will be included in FIFA Plus coverage, existing right deals in those leagues will focus the service on underserved areas such as Angola, Denmark, Mexico, and Poland. The service will broadcast 11,000 women's matches this year, while FIFA Plus will initially be available in English, French, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and expand to Mandarin, Hindi, Japanese, Italian, Arabic, Bahasa, and Korean languages by June. The service will also include 2,000 hours of archival content, plus documentaries and docuseries. While FIFA Plus will broadcast the upcoming FIFA World Cup in Qatar, the service seeks to build on and feed off the excitement around the global football tournament. The service aims to reach 200 million unique users by the end of this year, and it will also launch only as a digital service, but FIFA is in talks with broadcast partners. And still talking sports business at this hour, Swedish startup Goals has raised $15 million in seed funding to help build a non-fungible token-based football video game that can be a genuine alternative to EA Sports FIFA series. The round was led by Nordzone and included previous investors Cherry Ventures, Moonfire Ventures, and Banana Capital. Also on board were high-profile angel investors, including Barcelona's defender Gerard Piqué, the co-founder of NFT video game Axie Infinity, and Sowore co-founder Nicolas Julia. FIFA has dominated the video game landscape for the past decade, generating vast amounts of revenue from its Ultimate Team mode and squeezing out competition from others who are simply unable to match the investment required for development and licensing. Goals believes that by combining F2P with NFTs, it can offer something different but just as engaging as FIFA. Rather than compete with EA for licenses, Goals will allow players to assemble teams of fictional player-based NFTs that can be traded with other players, used across multiple applications, and sold for real money. And finally, on sports business at this hour, Chinese regulators have resumed approvals for new video game licenses for the first time in 9 months, ending a government crackdown on the world's largest gaming market. The decision to suspend licenses for new games comes after Chinese state media branded online games as mental opium and added that they have a negative impact on the health of minors, which led to new regulations restricting children to 3 hours of gaming per week. Tencent and NetEase lost more than $60 billion combined in market value in September 2021 after Chinese regulators informed gaming companies that the country planned to delay approvals for all new online games. The two companies took another step back after the National Press and Publication Administration unveiled its list of 45 domestic titles that have been approved for new licenses, excluding both industry leaders. Of the 45 titles, 5 are for PCs, 1 for the Nintendo Switch, and the rest are mobile. The titles are primarily casual games with lower player spending. China is expected to approve additional new game licenses, with more titles expected to be launched in the second half of the year. Between 500 and 700 games are projected to receive approval in 2022. And that's it on Sports Business. I'm Samson Olede.
And that's it on Business Now from iBrandTV Lagos. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Michael Nath.